And I would like to suggest that data is actually value laden, that there are a lot of things that are informing that data. It's not quite as objective as we might think it is. So just to unpack that a little bit more, I want to share a bit of a story. When I was working on my project, my research project, it was right around the time that COVID was starting, so spring of 2020. And I was reading this book called Dataism by Stephen Lair. And there was this quote in the book that said, "Counting is political." And at the same time, I was also working on a research team that was looking at COVID-19. And I was seeing all these reports of countries that were not counting COVID. They were saying, hey, we don't have any COVID here. We're not counting it. And I saw in the States, the same thing was going on. Certain states, they weren't counting COVID, therefore they didn't have any COVID. And this counting is political quote just really hit me in that moment about the politics of what we count, what we pay attention to, what we don't pay attention to. And this was a really explicit example when it came to COVID, but this kind of thing happens all the time. Sometimes we pay attention to things and we count them, other times we don't. And that leads me to kind of the flip side of this. What doesn't get counted can be made invisible. There's this great book about the lack of data that we have for women in clinical trials in healthcare,